on that story. A new taxi rate increase came into effect today, but without calibrated meters in some cabs. The Ministry of Transport said it had to postpone the calibration process, citing technical constraints. Cabbies have expressed their disappointment, telling us that technical snag created some challenges today. Lisa Bernardo has more in this report.
Taxi drivers have been lobbying for increased fares for nearly a decade. And just as changes were due to be implemented today, another setback. Taxi meters were due to be updated today, but a technical glitch left some drivers disappointed. While legally the new rate increase took effect today, Ricky Tucker, vice president of the Bermuda Taxi Owners and Operators Association, says government's timeline was not long enough to implement the change.
It was a disappointment because we knew the time frame that was allowed just wasn't enough time for everything, especially because they didn't have the calculated rate for the meter worked out correctly.
A few days before the increase was set to kick in, technical constraints halted TCD's ability to calibrate standard taxi meters. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Transport said technical and programming issues encountered by an external contractor caused a postponement, but that it is working to rectify the issue, with meters set to be calibrated mid-April. Adding, quote, "Despite these challenges, the legislation mandating a 15% increase in taxi rates effective the 1st of April will proceed with digital meters. However, the increase will not be reflected on standard taxi meters," end quote. Minister Wayne Ferbert said the situation, quote, "speaks to the need to modernize the industry. It is frustrating that these standard meters must be manually and individually calibrated. This obstacle underscores the urgency to transition to the digital meter system," added Minister Ferbert. Local dispatch companies BTA, Island Taxi, Hitch, and BIU will adjust the rate digitally to reflect the legislated rate increase today. Meantime, government has provided taxi operators with cards reflecting the rate change, which can be presented to passengers upon pickup. But drivers say they encountered challenges today with the process.
We did meet some challenges. A lot of the drivers trying to calculate the rate. We were told to use rate 3, which we've been using for a lot of the drivers that are running the roads. They're using rate 3. The issue was, will the public understand that at the end of the journey, they're going to have a calculated rate 3, and then if it's 5 to 7 passengers, the driver will have to add the extra percentage onto that, which in one way wouldn't be fair.
To add to the reported challenges, drivers also say cruise ship passengers were not informed of the rate change, which impacted business for some operators.
A lot of them have been surprised because they were not contacted or told through the travel agents that they will not be able to use their rate, the rate 3. So they didn't know anything about it. They didn't know about the increase. And then again, this is what we've been telling government all this time. You just can't make these things up and think that the tourists can just jump to it, because that's not going to happen. So I guess a lot of the drivers did lose out. It was challenging trying to get tours today. It was challenging for the drivers to even get regular jobs today, because the tourists just, they were told one thing and then they get off the ship and then they're told another. So they kind of thought that they were being ripped off by the driver, when in actual fact they weren't.
While government has yet to comment on today's mishaps, Minister Ferbert stated in a release before the holiday weekend, quote, "I've assured the BTOA that we are working to expedite resolutions and will continue cooperating with the industry to effect necessary enhancements," end quote. Elisa Bernardo,